Hello and welcome back to the Cove with more EU4 Lost Ideas of Odin. Well, we have fought a rather less than fun fight. We've lost a lot of men in the process, and well, we finally have peace. Unfortunately, our war exhaustion is astronomical, of which we cannot pay down either, which is more than just a little bit bad, but you know, it is what it is. But we do have some more land. We are slowly expanding. We've got a decent amount of money coming in at the moment, and so we need to make the most of things. So first things first, we have cash on hand. We don't have any particularly good buildings. We're going to go ahead and repay our loan. We're going to pay off these 95 ducat loans as fast as we can and make progress there. And hopefully then we can then retake some bigger loans and either pay them off or pick up some new ones and reinvest into our infrastructure. And investing in our states, one of the things I think we should have done is state the state of Quebec. So right now we've got some very, very good base production, manpower and all that stuff. We have most of it controlled. We have excess administrative power as of this moment, so I think that that's something that we're going to do. Being able to get that autonomy down is going to be very, very crucial. So that would be very nice. Also, on top of that, we did just go ahead and core up. We do have some land to core on up, so we will go ahead and get that sorted. We'll start. Do we want to pay for that? Actually, hang on a second. What's our cost? War exhaustion is currently going to be increasing our CCR by almost 30%. You know what? I don't like overextension, but I dislike paying more than we should. So, what do we do? No, we're not going to be able to afford too much. I think we go ahead and just let that tick on down. We'll call that up in a little bit. Let's also double check and see if there's any other states that would be worth investing in full statehood. We have, what have we got? This over here. I think that's not a bad idea. We do have a center of trade in Massachusetts. That is a solid amount of development. Yeah, I think that has to go ahead and become a state as well. That'll give us more economic trade power. And then, I guess for now, that's going to be about it. So we did just pick up, as you saw there, a little pop-up, a humiliate rival. We have a rival in the Castilian West Indies. It's not great that we're fighting the Europeans this early, but it's just the nature of things. So we're going to have to deal with that. They have got decent technology. They do have a couple of troops. I don't think that we could really land at this stage. Their navy is going to be too strong for us, but that is something that we are going to want to be able to fight back with in the future. But before we can do that, we have to sort ourselves out. So that's just going to have to be what it is. At the moment, our religious unity isn't perfect, but it's also not as bad as it could be. We're not going to currently go ahead and work on these. That's just a lot of money for fairly minimal gain, so we're going to be giving that a bit of a break. Let's also go ahead and, you know what? We're not at war. Let us go ahead and drop our army maintenance. That will give us a lot of extra cash nice and quickly. 5 ducats a month should be fairly good, assuming that that is still accurate. 7. Okay. What have we got? We've got 2, what have we got? Have we got... We should. We've got 2 settlements available. Okay, so one of them is here. And the other one of them is... good question. Whereabouts are you? I am not particularly sure. Oh, there it is. All right, so we... Oh, there we have it. Okay, excellent, excellent. That'll work out well for us. We have just picked up a new bonus from our ideas for an extra 10 colonists per year. So we're up to 65 as a base, which is very nice and desirable. We'll see if we can improve that in the future. But for now, I think, yeah, I think we'll hold on to a a couple of ducats, try and repay our loans, and then we'll go back to expanding. I think, yeah, I think expanding right now is probably best done in the economic fashion rather than with our colonists, as much as I would love to be able to do such things. Alright, so, what have we got? Well, war exhaustion is going to take a while. That goes down by 0.1 per month, so that's 1.2 per year, so that's a good 6-7 years at this rate. We can select a naval doctrine if we desire, and I suppose that's probably not a bad plan. Galley combat ability could be really good for us. If we're going to be protecting our shores from the Europeans, we might need a lot of galleys. And we can maybe fight through attrition. We could also see about maybe more ship trade power is not a bad thing. Help us economically. Capturing ships isn't bad. And then, oh, we could even go ahead and pick up the Norse raiding fleet. Okay, privateer efficiency goes up. Movement speed is increased. Okay, an interesting choice. I think for now we shall elect to ignore this. Yeah, I think we elect to ignore this right now. We don't need to spend the money. I'd rather pay off our debts if possible. We need to continue on expanding as best as we can. Now the good news is our autonomy has instantly dropped in a few places, so that will be very good for our monetary concerns. In fact, I'm almost tempted to maybe seeing about expanding further. We've got 8. Maybe this is something that we just need to do. We'll pay it off later, but maybe we just partially state it for the moment. I think that that's what we're going to go for. Yeah, so we've got the St. John's Valley, Eastern Maine, we have the Upper Acadia, we have Quebec, and then what do we have here? All of this, yeah, the wrong culture and all of this. We're not going to gain any benefit from that right now. But we would gain 9 development of extra taxes. You know what? Maybe this is actually worthwhile stating for now. That would mean we could use a few state edicts and whatnot to try and make things better for us in the long run. Yeah, okay, I think that... Okay, it looks like we already have, so I guess that we'll have to do. Or maybe we need to own the full state. Either way, we'll give it a minute. It'll be fine. We'll sort that out. We could also go ahead and potentially annex these fellows, and I'm thinking... Well, that would finish off a state for us. That would give us a lot of extra power. That would be free, so we don't have to worry about the costs associated. It would finish off one of our... Yeah, one of our active ones that we're working on. I think that's probably the way to play this. We've got very solid support from them. I think we go ahead and we annex them. Yes, that does somewhat detract from our ideas, but only by a couple of months. And realistically, the economic power is probably worthwhile. So that'll cost us 27. That is something that we can do. That'll also give us some extra prestige, which is decaying at a fairly rapid pace. So, you know, we'll see how that all plays out. Alright, what have we got? Lose stability or lose taxes? Well, taxes is definitely what we're going to throw. I'm not giving up my positive stability. We've worked too hard for what we have, and I'm not really willing to risk it elsewhere. Alright, truce with Castile has finished. Oh, actually, can we... Hang on a second. We can fabricate a claim. Alright, you know what? That'll do. An extra claim is at least a good thing for us to have. We'll go ahead and recall you. Any sign of you potentially wanting to be a vassal? Not yet. Alright, well the good news is I think these guys are very much... Oh, led by Pequot. Hang on a second. If we declared war, they would be our allies and they would disappear. Hang on a second. Let's see if we can find Pequot again. Here we go. Any sign of vassalization? Not yet. We're still really working on boosting things up. Yeah, we'd almost need to go ahead and, I don't know, start an extra war before we did that, because I really don't feel like losing an ally. Though that said, though, they're probably not the be-all and end-all, so it would just be a shame since we've put so much work into trying to have good relations with them. Alright, well, you know what? We have a free diplomat and we do have a new rival, so we should probably go ahead and start issuing an embargo. That will give us a little bit of extra power projection, which is fantastic. That is something that will give us some nice little bonuses. Extra trade power, morale of armies, navies, some extra fort defense, extra legitimacy and prestige. All things that we could very much make the most out of. And then after that, what else could we do? We could probably go ahead and say, actually, you know what? Oh, we don't have a truce with them. We can send them an insult. Yes, of course. Let's go ahead and do that. No, sorry. That's improve relations. We are not doing that. We could send a scornful insult for an extra 10 power projection. I think that sounds fantastic. 5 prestige, which we're about to lose over the next 2 years anyway. I see this being perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and take that. So again, every little bit we can muster is good. If we have over 25, we can keep an extra leader without having to pay for it. But if we can get to that 50, we'll start getting some extra power generation, which is realistically the thing that we do desire. So we'll let that be. All right. What else can we do? Well, for now, I don't think that there is that much, so we're just going to let our manpower recover for the moment. We will let our sailors continue to increase. We will let the money accrue, and that war exhaustion tick right back down again, because again, we have stuff to sort out. Alright, so they have been integrated. Diplomatic reputation has been hurt for the next 10 years. I honestly do not care one little bit. We've got some extra troops, which I suppose is a nice thing. Well, at least we're getting better prepared. I don't think we move anybody around at this point. We'll just stay where we're at. This is... Oh, wait a second. Huh. What happened to all of your development? That is... unfortunate. I don't know if that really helped us then, but oh well, it is what it is. We can a request for knowledge sharing from Pequot. Sure, you know what? It's good for our economy. We'll go ahead and we'll do that. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, alright, we also have our navy hanging out here unnecessarily. Let's take our light ships and, what have we got? We've got 47% here. Let's go ahead and protect trade in Chesapeake Bay. That's where the money is at. We'll take our transports, we'll drop them back into port. Yeah, 5 transports of Castile. They're definitely going to be hanging around. I wouldn't be surprised if they start maybe working their way up towards, Florida. Oh dear, what have they got over here? Yeah, they're definitely expanding. Well, we're definitely going to have to fight them as time goes by. Yeah, this could be an interesting situation. Alright, so... technically speaking, we could go ahead and start up another colony that would maybe make this a little bit easier to annex in the future, which we do want. Could go ahead and take this as well. Decisions. We have almost finished that. You know, it's some decent production. 2 productions, not the worst. We could also maybe... oh, you know what? We should probably finish Quebec. Yeah, I think that that's going to be our most important thing for us. Yeah, let's at least get that full state so we can have that included. That won't cost us too much in the scheme of things. It's only 2 ducats a month. We have Doomsday and a Revolt. Ooh, 12,000. Oh dear. Okay, I have not paid attention to our rebels. Alrighty. Well, you know what? Good thing is we have a relatively large number. Let's drop... yeah, let's drop some maintenance on that. We can still earn money, which is fantastic. We're getting close to being able to repay another debt, which is almost... That's next month. Oh, man, that's annoying. Alright, well, that's 94. We could... Let's see. If we took 2 loans, that'd be another 120. 2 loans would give us enough to pay off all 3. That'd be at higher interest rates. Then maybe we could go ahead and go back to the burgers, ask for more money. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I don't want to have to figure all that out. So let's go ahead and request 2 120 ducat loans. I hate all of this inflation, but it just is what it is. Yeah, let's get rid of all of those. That gives us 5 years, but again, the interest we're now paying is more than we were before by a rather large sum. Yeah, okay, back to the indebted or the merchants. That's most annoying, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and we'll drop off those expensive loans. Again, no point in paying the maximum amount of interest. That brings us back down to 0.5. That's still 0.3 less than what they were requesting, except we've also got some more money in the bank, which we can potentially invest in, and I think we shall. Let's check out taxation. We've got, yeah, 0.14. That is incredible. Production, 0.5, not quite good enough, I think. Oh, you know what? We need a capital fort. Yes, that's going to be very important. What do we do? Where do we move? Where do we put our fortification? Well, part of me says something like up here wouldn't be bad. It is in the hills. It would cover a fair amount of provinces. That would force them to go over here, or we could cut through there. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is the time where we actually go ahead and... Yeah, hang on a second. We were about to build a building here in Staticona. Let's cancel that. Time has not gone by, so we'll get all of our funding back. Let's head to our missions. We're going to go for the high income. We're going to drop down our construction time and construction costs for the next 25 years. That'll give us an employer for extra taxes who is cheaper. Yes, yes, yes. These are all the things that we desire. We can also go ahead and pick up some extra military power if we want. I think... Do we pick this up? What do we got? The next level is new soldiers, more tactics in better combat width. I know we don't get much for being ahead of time or anything, but that wouldn't hurt. We'd still be a bit of time behind, but you know what? For now, we'll just leave that be. Let's head to the... Oh, pardon me. Let's move over to the tax fellow. 0.68 is affordable. Yep, that'll be nice. And then... what else do we desire? Is there anyone else that's also cheap? No, I don't think we've had any other events for a cheap fellow. No, we cannot do that right now. Although we will gain one from our trade power efficiency fellow. So that would be very good for us. Yeah, that would work out nicely. So let's maybe invest in a few things. We'll check out, let's see, the workshops are 0.05. Taxes are definitely the way we'll go, but again, it's now cheaper. Oh, wait a second. Hang on. Do we maybe pay down inflation as well? You know what? I think since we're going to be investing so much, let's go ahead and do it. We're not spending our power anywhere else for the moment. I think that's going to be the best bang for buck. Again, I'm not forgetting that we need to fully core these, but again, our war exhaustion is still ridiculous, and I'm not going to throw that away. So let's go ahead and, where was it? Taxation. There we go. 85 ducats, that'll do nicely. 0.07 there is also probably not bad. We need 200 for a castle. And I think hills is probably the best choice. Yeah, that'll at least give us some decent control of the area. Forests, mountains nearby. But again, it's not going to quite save us there with the coast. Do we make our capital harder to take, or do we expand our defenses so it's more than just... You know what, I think we go ahead and we'll pop that in here. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll purchase the castles there. Just under 2 years, and then with the remaining money, let's go for some trade power, and I believe... What points? 2.88. Where is this? Oh, that's over here. That's in yeah, that's in the trade node that we desire. That'll do. We'll go ahead and pick that up. That should hopefully help us with our economy. Again, 46% isn't bad. England, wait, England has 8%? Hold your horses. When did the Brits get here? Ah, the trade ships. Well, you rapscallions, you... Yeah, alright, they're definitely going to be landing soon. Oh, man. Alright, this is going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but I guess it is what it is. Let's have everybody get together. We're going to start marching down. What are these peasants going to do? Probably not much. Oh, sorry, autonomy. Never mind. That is actually something I do not want. But considering the situation, it could be a whole stack worse. Yeah, let's see. Any other rebel factions getting ready to fire? Not exactly. Yeah, we should be able to handle this as war exhaustion goes down. But yeah, that'll just have to be as is. Let's go. We'll take the woods. We'll leave the hills. At least it's a neutral fight if we fight there. We'll see what these guys plan on doing. Hopefully we can recover our morale. Alright, that's everything we need. Let's go ahead and take that back. We will be losing some money as we reinforce afterwards, but that is what it is. The Castile, the Triangle of Trade. Okay, well... Slave prices increase, and they gain money and prestige. Lucky them. Lucky them. Alright, well... Take that back. We're not going to be losing too much money, which is at least something. Let's bring... I don't know, let's take half of the army and we'll bring you to where the unrest is the worst. We'll try and reduce the likelihood of more rebels. Yeah, we'll just have to work with that. We can sell titles, but again, we're not going to do that. We're not going to be able to sell, seize land for a little bit longer. Alright, well, it just is what it is for the moment. Let's march you back up over here. We'll see if there's any more unrest. Separatists, 6.5, 6.8. You know, for the moment, let's just send you all the way up over here. And you know what? Some autonomous rebel suppression is probably in order to try and mitigate our troubles. Yeah, that'll just have to do for now. I really do not want extra rebels. We'll shuffle you over here just in case. We'll have two armies bouncing around just to make sure that we are not spending more than we need. Let's go ahead and also we'll reduce our army maintenance. Yes, that does decrease our suppression, but at the same time too, I think it will be worth it. So that just is what it is. Alright, anything else we can do for the moment? We're protecting trade. I think that's what we're doing here in Maine. Yeah, that's what we're doing there. We're slowly working our prosperity back up again. We could... Actually, no, let's go ahead and protect trade here as well. That will cost us a little bit of money, but nothing ridiculous. And that is also one of our main trade ports. So that will be useful. Yeah, I think that's just going to have to do for now. And with any luck, we will be able to save some money. Alright, colony self-sustaining. That is excellent. That is out of the way. Could go ahead and... do we save the money or do we go ahead and try and invest it? I really do want this and all the development stuck there if possible. So you know what? I think we'll go ahead and we'll travel you across there and see what we can manage. Yeah, if we can get them locked into the borders, we can keep all of the development when we annex them. That'll be very nice because, again, we're not going to get that much development on an emporium for quite some time unless, who is this? Oshega, take this position instead. But again, we're just trying to, you know, hedge our bets. Oh, growth of the port. Well, you know what? That is fantastic news. Sure. We will accept any little bonus we can get. 52% now in control of the trade. That is excellent. Yeah. Yeah, that is what we will do. Also, I think I've decided if for some reason they do move back there, we will just go ahead and annihilate them. It's unfortunate to lose a long-term ally, but at the same time, too, development and control over these locations are going to be absolutely critical. Province war score cost 21%. It's not out of the question. They are already Norse, so there's going to be no religious issues there either. I think we just have to, yeah, we'll sort that out. But again, we need to solidify our position. So let's just double check in on our war exhaustion. It is still very high. I think we... I don't know, unjustified demands is also nice. But I do want to state up a few things, so... You know what, we'll just put that on the back burner for a second. I think we'll pay it down at least once. Yeah, that... Oh, maybe we even just go ahead and do it twice. We are focusing in on it, so we've only lost, what, say... 7 months? You know what, that's... Yeah, I think that's going to be necessary. And now we can at least start coring this up for a little bit of extra bonus. We'll go by cost. We'll get the overextension done away with. That does give us extra issues, so we want to remove that. And then we core up the most expensive stuff first. And bring as much development under the fold as possible. So that should be good. Alright, so what else is going on here? It looks like devastation. Oh, of course, all the little smokestacks. Yep, that makes a little bit of sense. We definitely do want to reduce that. Devastation is able to be more handily dealt with if we have a fort. So building another fort and being able to control where they can devastate is going to be incredibly crucial for us in the future. But again, that's still going to take us a good chunk of time. So we will allow that to be what it is. Another colony is self-sustaining. That is excellent news. And I think, you know what, almost 10 ducats a month. We're actually making a good amount of money if we want. Do we just continue expanding? I don't think it's exactly a bad idea. Yeah, I think... Well, we don't want the Europeans to be able to land right beside our capital and then take it. That'd be very bad. We are putting in a fort. Obviously, they can still land troops, but we don't want to give them a colonial hold. With that in mind, yeah, we'll finish our capital state. Yeah, that'll give us 2 base production, which I think is fairly good for us. That's as good as we're going to be able to get for production development anywhere near us. So that'll be helpful. We can then what can we do? I think from there, I think we'll go... what do we want? I'm not really sure. But you know what? It does look like... Oh, there's a new player in town, Huron. Alright, you know what? Let's start building a spy network on them. I want to make sure that we have as many claims as possible for when we do choose to go to war. I want us to have every possibility. So, what have we got? We can take 2 provinces from them with claims in the future. We've already got 1 against Mohawk. Anybody else where we can expand? I guess we can spy on these guys just on the off chance. An extra claim would at least make it cheaper to core, even if there is no one on the province. Yeah, I think that's the way that we deal with that. Are you suppressing rebels? Have you got that included? You do. Alright, well, No, that actually doesn't seem like they're going to do much. 500 of them. Our numbers are still going up. We could probably just let them be. They can never take it, so we're not gaining devastation or anything along those lines. Yeah, I think we're actually in a spot where we could almost decide to ignore them. Alright, well, you know what? That's really, really good news. We'll go ahead and let's pay off some debts since we're at it. You know what? We'll remove our army maintenance even further. We're not going to war for a little bit, so every ducat that we can collect is better. We need 123 per loan, but again, that is something that I think we're actually in a position to be able to handle. Yeah, quite a surprise, but a welcome one for sure. So, yeah, oh, right, let's also continue finishing coring some of our states. Yeah, war exhaustion is now at a much more manageable level. If we gain any more administrative power, I'm thinking we can boost up our stability. But again, we will get to everything as we can do. So, we're going to leave that there for today. So, if you do want to see more, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is the best way to catch all future content, and I'll see you next time. So until then, thank you for tuning into the Leviathan Cove. This is the Leviathan, signing out.